Hello. So this is the first part of the equity valuation, chapter 13. Chapter 13 mainly talk about the value of the equity, which is stock. We will going to see the three different ways to evaluate the stock. And the first part of this chapter will be explaining very basic of stock valuation, equity valuation. We will see the intrinsic value of the stock. So first of all, we can easily see one of the values so-called the book value. Book value is one way to show the value of the equity because, as you know, this book is a balance sheet. And in balance sheet, you can see owner's equity part. Sometimes it's called the shareholder's equity. So right-hand side bottom is owner's equity. And you can get the net worth of common equity from this balance sheet. It's called the book value. So this is the easiest way to find the value of the equity. There may be some problems. So the book value is not true value of the company because it does not reflect the market value. It only reflects the value of stock when stock is newly issued, because they use so-called the cost method to record the stock value, equity value in the balance sheet, and the value there is the value when they issue the equity. So therefore, when we see this book value, there's some limitations. So there's some other like book values that replace this one. So called the liquidation value. Liquidation value is now, well, so suppose the identity rule, which is asset equals to liability plus equity, hold, then instead of getting equity value from the balance sheet, let's say equity equals asset minus liability. And if you get the value of asset correctly, and just the liability is liability, right? And then subtract liability, then we can get the liquidation value. We can also see use another term, so-called the replacement cost. It's basically similar to the one. So it's basically cost to replace these assets. So if you get this one and then the subtract liability, then you can get the equity value. Now there's a Tobin's measure, which is the ratio from market value and the replacement cost. This market value is actually stock price. So if the Tobin's Q is high, then firm value is high. But we don't really use equity value, the book value, when we really find the true value of equity. This is Microsoft Financial Highlight, October 2014. And these are the information. You have the price per share, common shares outstanding, and market capitalization is the total market value. And these are the book information, the sales numbers, income, EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization, net income, and earnings per EPS is the $2.55. So we can compare like this PE ratio first. PE ratio is the price to EPS ratio. Price is 45.95. EPS 255, so it's 45.95 divided by 255. You have 18 times per price to earnings ratio. Interest average is 19.4. We usually compare these two numbers. We'll see more detail about actually price to earnings ratio later on, probably part 3. We usually compare these two. If the difference is too far, then it sometimes give us very valuable information, because it may be the signal of the underpricing, overpricing of the stock. These are another price to other measure ratio and ROE, like related to the income, stock price information. Now, let's find intrinsic value of stock. Before finding intrinsic value, let's find expected holding period return on stock investment. So stock investment has two factors of the income. One is the dividend income. So this is dividend. And the next part is capital gain. So dividend is simply dividend, and the capital gain is the gain from the price differences. So suppose you purchase the share of DAR Incorporated for $40 in January. You expect to sell it for $42 in December and expect to receive the dividend to $40 during the year. What is your expected HPR? It's kind of simple calculation. The HPR, holding period return, is the numerator is dollar return. So dollar return is dividend to 40 plus the capital gain, $42 selling price, purchase price $40, so $2 capital gain. So 440 will be your dollar returns divided by purchase price, $40. 11% is the HPR, holding period returns. Okay. So what is the intrinsic value? Intrinsic value is true value, like the value of asset. And value of asset is basically the present value of the firm's expected future net cash flows, first of all. So we need to find the present value. Sum of the PV T equals to certain period, like here, actually infinity, because the firm lasts forever. Cash flow T. So some of the present values are present value of the future cash flows are the intrinsic values, the intrinsic value. These contracts should be required rate of returns. And this required rate of return should be the market capitalization rate, which is market consensus estimate of appropriate required rate of returns. Okay, so intrinsic value is the sum of the present value of future expected cash flow discounted by market capitalization rate. Now we can show mathematically. So V0 is intrinsic value. So V0, so this is one period. So you have one period investment, so period 1, period 0. And the cash flow should be, you have expected dividend 1 and then expected price 1, right? So if you sell this stock in year 1, then the cash flow should be expected dividend plus expected price. And this is one period. And if the market capitalization rate is K, then it should be divided by 1 plus K, right? So that will be one period intrinsic value. If the holding period is H, so for H period now, so we have, if you get stock period today and hold for H periods, and you're gonna get dividend 1, dividend 2, dividend 3 to the dividend H, right? And then you sell it for PH. The price is H. So the first dividend, second dividend, third dividend to the H's dividends, and then the price and all present values will be, so first 1 plus K, this discount, D2 divided by 1 plus K squared, because of 2 periods, right? D3 should be 3 periods, so the third, fourth, fifth to the H's. That will be intrinsic value, value of the stock. So now we have models so-called the dividend discount models, basically saying that, well, because the cash flow that stock generated is the dividends, right? So intrinsic value of the firm will be equal to what? Will equal to present value of all expected future dividends. It means that the present value of all future dividends and discounted by this K appropriate market capitalization rate. So next part, we will see this dividend discount model more detail.